quickly going over this introduction, SQL data types play a pivotal role in defining how data is stored, manipulated, and retrieved in a database. Each data type has a specific purpose, blah, blah, blah. This is an in-depth overview of that. Now, I already mentioned some of this: numerical, strings, datetime, Boolean. Boolean means logical, true or false values, and so on. Now, this gives you guys an overview of different data types, which you can go over. Let's see, what are some common ones? For numerical data types, there are integers, whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, decimals, where you define precisely the precision, meaning how many digits there are in the whole part of the number and how many decimal places. And then this is a float, which is kind of like a decimal, but you don't specify the exact precision and scale. Character string data types. So these are textual values. We have fixed length and variable length. So fixed length means that if a column is set to be a char data type, and you define n here, it has to have exactly n characters, right? So let's say you have a char character of ID, that would be normally it, like a fixed length, and you set it to 7, that means every ID has to have exactly 7 characters, not more, not less. VARCHAR means variable character length, can have any number up to n. So this is normal for most others, like name, basically anything, name, address, things like that. And this is very common. Date types, we have date, which is just year, month, day. Time, which is time of date. Usually it's hour, minutes, seconds. Timestamp is like these two combined, right? And Boolean means true or false. There are a few more, but these are the main ones. What does our question want to teach us? It's asking us to calculate the number of days between each order date and June 1st, 2023 as days since order. And it's asking us to display blah, blah, blah. So this, whatever is asking us to display is going to be in the select statement. And there is another criteria for customers who have placed orders, right? All right. So let's do this from scratch. It says display this. I'm just going to copy that and paste it to select. Okay, display this. Customers who have placed orders. We have customers table, orders table, customers who have placed orders. That just means we have to do an inner join here from customers, C, join orders, O. Nothing new so far. And let me add the aliases here. Order. All right. And we need to calculate the number of days between each order date and this days as days since order date. That means we need this as another column, and it's telling us how to alias it. Thank you, Aaron. This is reassuring. I definitely, for some reason, have less focus today than previous weeks. All right. So one thing we know how to do without using any brain power is this. So we need another column where we will calculate this. It told us how to name that column, days since order. And it needs to be between order date and this date, right? So these are both, this is clearly a date. And if we look at the orders table, order date, we can see that the data type is date. So these two are matching, and this means we can use a date function to do this calculation. So what we can do is a date function called date diff. Very intuitive, difference between dates. And I cheated a little bit to remind myself of there's no underscore. Date diff is the function. This function takes two arguments. Now, for anyone seeing functions for the first time, I just want to explain them a little bit in general. So functions do some computations, and functions normally have parentheses. The parentheses for some functions can be empty, meaning they don't require any input to know what to do. Input is what we call arguments. Sometimes there's a single argument, sometimes there are multiple arguments. So this function calculates the difference between dates. So it's quite intuitive that it would need two arguments, the two dates between which we need to calculate the difference. The output of the difference is the number of days between these two dates, right? So all we need to do, and arguments are normally separated by commas, all we need to do is enter the dates required. So that would be June 1st. My numerical keyboard is not on. Okay. I think I did something. June 1st, 2023. June. Goodness. All right, comma. The other one is order date. That would be O dot order date. All right, as days since order. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Calculating the number, storing it in this column, displaying it for customers who have placed orders. Have I lost connection, guys? Am I here? I got a message that I lost connection.
You're good, we can hear you.
All right, there seems to be an error here. Server syntax as a since order. Oh, I see it. So let me show you. This is a simple one. This says there is a syntax error near this. But what I'm seeing is I missed a comma right here. Separate these two columns. All right, so this is what we get. We get customers and their orders, but all the order dates are, sorry, all the orders have another column which displays the number of days between the order date and this date right here. That's what we're doing. I see a chat. Hello. So one thing that you might ask is why is it called days since order instead of days since mid-2023. Initially, this question was slightly different. It was to calculate the difference between order date and current date. But since the way our platform works, this expected table remains the same. So it's always stored the same way. It's not dynamic, and the current date always changes. So we changed the question to ask about the date difference between order date and a fixed date. That's all there is. I don't want to give you guys any more confusion. This whole lesson was to demonstrate a date function, which calculates the difference between two dates. So it takes two arguments, those two dates, as days since.